Welcome to my music business series. Welcome back to my music business series, and today we're going to be talking about Laufey, which is one of my favorite artists of all time. In an era where music artists are told to chase being viral, and that is usually the metric of success for most emerging artists, Laufey's rise to stardom offers something completely different. The Icelandic Chinese jazz pop singer didn't just blow up overnight. She slowly built a brand, an aesthetic, and a community, and somehow, in the process, has made jazz mainstream. The story is not only about having great music, it's also about marketing, how to appeal to an audience, how to gain a loyal fan base, and in general, it's about how to play the long game instead of just chasing short-term success. First off, let's talk about her music. Jazz pop is not a genre combo you see often, mostly because jazz is seen as outdated and very classic. There's certain attributes that you give to jazz that you don't usually give to mainstream music too. And pop is exactly what it sounds like. Popular music is about broad appeal, but Laufey found a middle ground, and her music blends classical harmonies, orchestral arrangements, and jazz standard vocals with the softness of indie ballads. When it comes to genre blending, there's a lot of things that can go wrong because sometimes it might feel like it's too overwhelming, some things just might not mesh well together, but Laufey does it in a way where it brings the best out of both genres and makes a unique combination that people love, even no matter if you're into jazz or not. And from some of her more emotional ballads like Let You Break My Heart Again to some of her more popular upbeat songs like From the Start, her music is very personal. Not in a vague one-size-fits-all kind of way, but in the kind of way where people can still relate, yet you know this is distinctly about her life and her experiences. You can still apply it to your own though. That balance between intimacy and structure, and also old school and modern, is part of what makes her stand out as an artist. Now this is where a large part of her marketing strategy comes in, and it's through TikTok. Laufey's TikTok isn't just about posting song snippets and making dance challenges and hoping that it takes off. She treats it like she's an influencer, like she's a lifestyle creator, and she shares bits of her day, her sense of humor, her aesthetic, her fashion, her fits, what she's into, and she engages in trends, but in a way where it doesn't seem like she's just engaging in trends. It's never forced, and she always puts a twist on it that helps promote her music and who she is. A lot of music managers might tell new artists to keep posting. If you post a certain amount of videos a day, then you'll get at least some outreach. But Laufey's approach is more slow burn in the sense where she's really taking the time to curate her aesthetic and her identity as an artist and a person instead of chasing a viral video. And that can be the difference between short-term and long-term fan bases. What Laufey is an example of is that consistent world building will beat a one-hit viral song every single time. She didn't just blow up on TikTok and then disappear for years. Not that I know many examples of people who do that. Usually artists are very passionate about what they do. But her team also placed her on mood-based Spotify playlists, booked intimate shows that were consistent with her vibe and tone, and reinforced a cohesive image of the aesthetic that she exudes, both online and offline. She also has the power to create incredible visual branding. When I see someone, sometimes I'm like, I know they're a Laufey fan just by looking at them because of the way they might dress, present themselves. Maybe not all the time, but I feel like I could guess. Because I stand by this, the most powerful thing you can do in music marketing is to establish a recognizable identity, which helps you stand out in an extremely crowded market. When I attended a Laufey concert in New York City in May 2024, I was stunned by the impact her aesthetic emulation had. Every single young female fan online had a bow in her hair, and me included. Whether it's her merch or social media taglines, every detail about her music, content, and branding is curated, intentional most of the time, and unapologetically authentic. Although she attracts a largely feminine fan base that is extremely into the niche genre of jazz pop, some of her social media taglines and music help to expand her audience and target different crowds, two of them being Real Men Listen to Laufey, and Laufey is my favorite rapper, which you can find on her merch. Like it says it on her t-shirts and hats. And while Laufey doesn't center her identity as an Asian woman in her branding, she still acknowledges it, and it leaks into a lot of her songs, like Letter to My 13-Year-Old Self, and her presence itself is changing industry norms for people of color. Instead of leaning into hypervisibility or stereotype, she takes up space in a genre that hasn't historically have artists like her. Or at least that's what I learned, because jazz didn't come from East Asia, and I don't think it's very prevalent in Iceland either, but she still makes it part of her identity, and she does it with confidence, and I think it's powerful in its own way. I think it also shows that music transcends racial barriers. You are not limited to a music genre just because of the color of your skin. But I feel like in media and the representation of certain artists associated with certain skin tones is something that needs to be challenged even further. In a music industry that I feel like is pushing artists to become somewhat of a content creator, since it's a huge thing and a huge way to market now, Laufey's rise proves that doing it slowly and with intention can be more worth it than just chasing being viral. Aesthetics matter, community matters, and branding doesn't have to be loud to be effective. Laufey reminds us that in music and in life, the slow burns can be worth it, and what matters is that you stay true to yourself and be authentic, because if you're not, then people will be able to tell. Anyways, that is all I have for today. I hope you liked it, and hopefully you tune in for some more artist talks.